I'd like to call this meeting to order. Selectmen meeting for May 6, 2026 at 4:30 p.m. at the Community Center on 46 Church Street. Item number 1, to consider and if appropriate, approve the Board of Selectmen minutes from April 1st, 2026, April 8th, 2026 special meeting, and April 15th, 2024. 25, sorry, 20, but that would be 26.
26. I move it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then I'd like to entertain a motion. Item number 2, entertain a motion to go into an executive session to discuss the position of town clerk.
I move it.
Second.
All right, we're now in executive session. Item number 3, to consider and if appropriate, approve a request from Chief Tom Mahoney to list the 2001 KME XL MFD fire engine VIN number 1K9AF42801N058344 for sale with garage.
Hello, and thank you. So Garage is a national reseller of used fire apparatus. In the past, we've tried to put it out for like a reverse bid. We've done the town auction. We really haven't got a lot of value out of the stuff that we've put out there. I think Engine 5, which was the Stony Creek engine, was the last thing. We think we got about 12 grand out of it. So we're going to hopefully try this with your approval and put it out. They have they'll market it for you. It's national base, and they have an incentive to get the most amount of money because they do get a 10% cut. So with that, that's what I'm hoping you'll approve tonight, unless you have any questions. I did forward in my email the website so you could check it out.
Yeah. I went on, and I think it's a good move, try to get a few more dollars than what you might get locally, so I would approve this.
And I would also add that we're going to find ourselves with the same thing with the police boat, and I think to maximize the value of that, we'll do something very similar. So this is a good test for that. So we have a motion to approve. Can I get a vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good night.
Item number 4, to consider and if appropriate, approve a request from Gary Zielinski, Director of Public Works, to waive the bid and award the contract for the purchase of a 2026 Ford F600 and award the contract to Tasca Ford in the amount of $67,370.
Good evening. Hope you don't mind. I brought a former employee here.
Good to see you, my friend.
He just retired, but he actually did a lot of the work on this in the past, so he just can't stay away from me. So, because I'm such a great guy. Yeah, I got to have somebody on my side. Yeah, so we're requesting to award the bid to Tasca Ford for an F600 4x4 Super Duty in the amount of $67,370. Tasca Ford is not the lowest bidder. They were $76 higher. All right, but we've purchased several trucks from them in the past. They've been nothing but good to us, responsive, positive experiences. They've even bailed us out a few times with some small issues, and we've had guys that responded to us come down. I think for $76 is a small price to pay for, to have good service. So requesting the waive bid and award it to Tasca Ford.
So in summary, this is a vendor that you use a lot, you're
We've
happy
used them
with,
before, yeah.
and it's not a large dollar amount to warrant
$76, no.
having, taking a sacrifice for the service that you feel like you're comfortable with.
Correct.
Any questions?
No, I'll move it. Tasca
Second.
Ford's a good agency, and we've had experience with them in the past, so I recommend the purchase.
All right, so there's a motion on the floor to approve. Can I get a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you. That's it, Ed. It was that easy.
Item number 5, to consider and if appropriate, approve the assignment of the Thimble Islands Refuse and Recycling Collection Contract for a period of July 1, 2025 to June 30th, 2028 from Joshua Brooks, DBA Brookstone to Brookstone LLC. I'll give you a little history. Last year in May, Josh Brooks, was awarded the contract for the island trash pickup. I took the job solely for 2 of the guys that worked for me at the time because they were interested in doing the contract, so I allowed them. They basically did the whole contract. Then there was an election. I won an election, and I'm no longer Brookstone doing business as. And so the same 2 guys that did the trash contract last year have since taken over doing a lot of the similar work that I did in the past, albeit limited, but want to continue to do the trash contract under, the same as they did last summer. For the record, I have not received any compensation as Brookstone since November 14th of last year, actually before that. I will not receive any compensation for this contract or from them now or in the future for anything. So I will recuse myself from the vote, but I will entertain any questions.
So Josh, you're not affiliated with Brookstone LLC?
I am not.
Thank you.
I don't even think there were any other bidders last.
No, actually, truthfully, there were two bidders, two other bidders. One was extremely low and decided, I don't even understand. They couldn't have done it. They would have been doing it for free because the insurance would have cost them more than what their bid was. And then the next bidder did not want to get insurance, so they dropped out. So that's how Brookstone DBA got the contract. Although our price wasn't too much higher than the second bidder, but it was higher. So that's how they got the contract. So that's really where that's at.
Right.
I move this agenda.
Second.
I move it.
Well, I shouldn't say all in favor. I
Okay, all in
recuse myself.
favor? Aye.
All right, so that passes.
You abstained.
Josh Brooks abstains. Okay, so that's item number 5. Item number 6, to consider and if appropriate, approve a request from Brendan Letty to waive an informality in the bid received from Silktown Roofing for the BHS roof and translucent wall panel replacements and award the contract to Silktown Roofing.
Good afternoon. So this is a project that is currently managed by the Building Commission. We received 4 total bids. And this is also a school construction grant project that is highly regulated by the state. After 5 addendums, and as part of addendum 2.1, there were 21 requests for information. And as part of one of those questions, I believe it was question 17, was a unit price question on abatement for some of the roof drains. And they did not provide that in their bid. It's a small amount. Their total bid, they were the low bidder, $4.8 million. The addendum that they did not include, the informality in their bid, was for some tenting and in the amount of close to $6,000. So we're just trying to make sure that we cover all bases here and make sure that this informality is recognized and award the bid to Silktown Roof.
Okay, any questions from the board?
Brendan, your board reviewed all those.
Public Building Committee approved. We have a very strong recommendation for Silktown, also from the architect Antonazzi Associates.
I'm familiar with Silktown myself personally, so I know they're a good company. I'll move it.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, to review and if appropriate, waive the requirement for advertising and bidding and approve 2 power purchase and license agreements with the Connecticut Green Bank for proposed solar projects at the Branford High School and the Branford Police Department. In addition, approve a resolution for use of town property for proposed solar projects located at the Branford High School and Branford Police Department. There's a resolution. Do I need to read the resolution?
You can waive the reading of the resolution.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the reading of the resolution.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
All those in favor of waiving the reading of the resolution?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries.
For the record, it'll be included in the minutes in its whole.
Right. If anybody in the public would like me to read them the resolution, they can call me and I will gladly do it, or it will be on the minutes in the town website.
Can't see it.
The TV's off. Touch the yeah.
And I'll just state, Tyler Bound, I'm here, I'll be overseeing the police department solar if we are to move forward with it. No?
There it goes.
Great. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Katie Shelton. I serve as a senior manager of market engagement for the Connecticut Green Bank Solar MAP Plus program. It stands for Marketplace Assistance Program. And we provide no-cost technical assistance and project development support for solar and battery storage on affordable multifamily housing. We work with state agencies and municipalities. We've been working with Branford on scoping solar projects for both the police department as well as Branford High School. Thank you.
That's for TV land.
Got it. So we have been working on scoping solar projects for both Branford Police Department as well as Branford High School through our program. That encompasses a two-part assessment where we start with what we call a desktop review. That's analyzing sites, giving a high-level overview of system size and production estimate as well as project type. We then completed a technical assessment through our technical partner CSW, where we went to site, evaluated the on-site conditions, gathered site-specific information such as utility bills and available drawings, and then provided a dialed-in layout and production estimate as well as project information that went out for a competitive bid. So as part of our program, we run a competitive RFP for contractor selection, where we pool a portfolio of like projects together. They go out to competitive bid for contractor selection. Both of these projects were included in that process. To provide an overview, we would look to execute what we call a PPA or a power purchase agreement. And that would be structured as a netting power purchase agreement through the Commercial Solar Incentive Program here in Connecticut. This is traditional solar where we are tying in behind your utility meter and reducing the amount of kilowatt hours that you are purchasing from the grid. Any solar or kilowatt hour production that comes from the solar system, you would be purchasing at a discounted rate from what you're currently paying with your utility provider, and that rate is fixed for the duration of a 20-year contract term. Under a PPA structure, there's no out-of-pocket expense on your end. Green Bank is bearing the development costs associated with the project. We're also responsible for all of the ongoing operations and maintenance costs throughout the contract term. So simply put, you're benefiting from clean energy at a discounted rate, and that rate is fixed for the duration of a 20-year term. The nice thing about this structure is that as utility costs continue to rise with Eversource over the course of the next 20 years, the gap between your utility rate and what your fixed rate is under this power purchase agreement continues to rise, meaning that your savings should accelerate over the contract term. So to start, on the screen here is the layout for the high school. We're looking exclusively at a rooftop installation for this site, which would be sized at 823.64 kilowatts DC. And that is expected to produce 996,852 kilowatt hours in the first year of production. Brendan was just up and was talking about the re-roof for the facility, so there will be a fresh roof on this site prior to the solar being installed. To walk you through the economics here based off of the layout that we just looked at, your offsettable utility rate, or the charges on your electric bill that can be offset by having solar installed, total just under 13 cents per kilowatt hour currently. So that's all the volumetric charges that are billed out per kilowatt hour, totals up to 12.968 cents per kilowatt hour. In comparison, under this PPA structure, we would be locking you in at a fixed rate of 8.97 cents per kilowatt hour, and that's fixed for the duration of the 20-year PPA term. Year one, your savings would be just under $40,000, $39,854, and over the PPA term, your savings are expected to total just over $1.26 million. Again, no out-of-pocket expense. Green Bank bears the development costs. We also are responsible for operations and maintenance throughout the contract term. Flagging that we are assuming in this economic model a 2% annual escalator on the utility costs. So we're assuming that your cost of electricity with Eversource will increase at a rate of 2% per year. I think you'll find that if you go back and look historically, the utility rates have actually accelerated at a much higher pace than that. So this is a pretty conservative estimate. And we're anticipating about $1.26 million in savings over the PPA term. For this system, in addition to the financial benefits, it is expected to offset about 670 metric tons of carbon dioxide each year that you have solar on site. And this will give you the equivalencies here on the screen. About 11,000 tree seedlings grown for 10 years as an example. For the police department, this is kind of a unique scenario where you have carport canopies that have been built on site, and the solar is being or proposed to be installed on top of the existing canopies. So we're treating this really like a rooftop installation where we're just coming in after the fact and retrofitting the existing carports that are installed on site. Anticipated system size based off of the footprint of the carport canopy is just over a 56 kilowatt DC system size, and that's expected to produce 65,265 kilowatt hours in the first year of production. Same scenario here with this project. We're looking to utilize a netting PPA. So there would be zero out-of-pocket expense on your end. We're bearing the development costs associated with the project, and you're benefiting from purchasing clean energy at a discounted rate that's fixed for 20 years. Based off of the system size and production estimate, your current electric costs or offsettable utility rate is 13.54 cents per kilowatt hour. Under this particular project, we would be locking you in at a fixed rate PPA just below that at 13.09 cents per kilowatt hour, and that rate is fixed for 20 years. Year one would be about $300 in savings, but again, we're assuming a utility inflation rate of about 2% a year, which would net out at about $40,000 in savings over the PPA term. For this site, in addition to the financial benefit, for the environmental benefits, we're looking at about 43.8 metric tons of carbon dioxide that would be offset each year that you have solar installed on site. So two different projects in terms of size and scope, but both would be structured utilizing that PPA agreement where there's no investment on your end. You're benefiting from clean energy at a fixed discounted rate for 20 years. Open it up for any questions.
Any questions from the board? I do have a question. So we've talked about this at great lengths, and one of the benefits of going this route and quickly is that there are still some government subsidies that the Green Bank would realize, but as I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're going to need a decision so you can go to RFP by the end of the month. Is that correct?
So we've already competitively bid for these projects.
Well, I mean, award, you need to award by the end of the month. Is that correct?
That's right.
Because we, the town of Branford, have to go before the RTM, which will happen on the 12th. And then there's a belief beyond that we need to go to the Board of Finance. Well, it's not a belief. We have to go to the Board of Finance as well. And that is on the 18th. So if a decision comes to you by, let's say, the 22nd, that's okay?
Yes.
For your timing?
Yes, I believe we're looking to award by the 26th, so that'll
Okay.
give you a couple-day buffer.
Okay. All right. To that note, one of the questions that was raised was, because it's a new roof, and perhaps Brendan Liddy can help with this answer as well, because it's a new roof, will there be assurances that by adding the solar on top of our, as it turns out, $4.8 million roof, that our roof will be okay?
Yes, so we will go through what's called an overburden waiver process. It is a standard within the industry, and what that entails is there will be a pre-inspection of the roof by a third party before anything is loaded or installed up on the roof. And then post-installation of the solar, there's a secondary third-party inspection verifying that everything was installed according to manufacturer's specifications and that there was no damage caused to the roof. And they sign an overburden waiver form that validates your roofing warranty. So if you're 6 months into it and you have 19 years and 6 months remaining on your roof, we're not voiding it by having solar installed on site by going through that process. And it's a standard that we go through as part of our development. Second piece that I would just add, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead, finish.
Second piece that I would just add is that we always look to do a ballasted system wherever possible. Essentially what that means is that we would match the roofing material that's being installed on site through slip sheets. That gets installed under the racking, so the solar racking on site, and that racking is just weighted down with ballast blocks. So instead of penetrating the roofing membrane, that's always the preferred installation method. We will not know until we get into structural engineering whether or not that's 100% feasible for your site. Sometimes a portion of the facility requires mechanical attachments. Sometimes the entire facility does because you don't have the structural capacity to support the additional weight. So we'll look at that as the first option, but we can't make any guarantees until we get into engineering review.
Thank you.
But this question's for Brendan. What's the warranty on the roof, Brendan, when it's
20 years.
20 years? Okay.
So the second part of that is, and I'm going to want to know, the 20-year warranty, how does it mix with this if your warranty doesn't agree with what they're doing?
Well, I think Katie just outlined that, how the warranty would still,
So you're going to cover the warranty?
it would still be intact.
It's through the overburden waiver process. So it's that third-party inspection through the manufacturer, and
If
that's going to
something
protect
goes
the
wrong, who
warranty.
pays for it? That's my question,
With the roof,
with the roof.
the roofing company would have to deal with it?
Well,
Yes.
not if they're saying, that's my question. If there's a problem and something happens to the roof and then the roofing company
gonna
says,
go
it's not
back
my
to-
problem,
It's going to go back to Siltown.
that's what I
Correct.
said, who's going to pay for the roof? That's
Siltown.
all I'm asking.
It'd go
Go
through,
back under the roof warranty.
yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure Siltown's worked with the Green Bank on other projects around the state. So if there was an issue, they have experience on how to,
Yeah, and Katie mentioned structural engineering. We didn't do any structural engineering because we don't know what type of system will support the roof. But
Right.
the roof is able to support a solar array on the roof.
Right.
We just don't know the type. That's where the Green Bank will come in with their third party to make sure that that is all.
plus you're taking all the old stuff off anyways, right? And you're going to be relieving them
Correct.
of a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So,
Any other questions?
No, you know what I'm going to do.
So if we table this till the 20th, we have a meeting on the 20th?
Yes, our next meeting is 20th.
So if this body tables this to the 20th, so it goes through the other regulatory bodies that we have, and then we would be the final approval, that is acceptable for you, correct?
Yes, we'll just need final approvals before the end of the month.
And we won't make you come back on the 20th.
I'm happy to come if you need me.
Yes, sir.
John Harwell from the RTM. My question, I've got two questions. The first is, will the amount of electricity produced by this meet the needs of those two facilities?
I'll answer because this is my favorite thing. So the high school right now, I don't know the exact numbers that it produces, but this solar array will produce 95% of the electrical energy that the high school uses. Because now that we are aware that this is the system we're going to have on the roof, it will adjust how we move forward with things like the cogen, the F-wing renovations. So it is hopeful, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that we could actually in that process find the 5% savings of energy use that gets us to, the goal is we could find that savings in energy, because now we know that we don't need the same type of system that the cogen was, and therefore actually become 100%. On the police station, not even close. The answer is not even close. It's just creating more solar, but it's not even close to the demands of the police station.
It's a smaller footprint.
It's a small array.
And I will also add, we have, Josh and I were talking, actually, I believe yesterday, we have a VNM for the police station as well that I think takes 25% of the electricity off of that one.
You have a what?
It's a virtual net metering, so it's actually a solar farm somewhere outside of Branford that we have a piece of virtually, and we get credits for it.
And I will also add, and I forgot to add this piece, should we realize even greater savings in energy use from the high school array, any extra energy we create on there, we can actually, because it's a school, it allows us to get credits to some of the other schools where they're not producing 100% solar.
Yeah, and I might have misspoke. We get 25% of our VNM goes towards the police station.
Right,
It's not
correct.
25% of the police station's
Right.
energy.
So all these solar panels are going to go on top of the carport,
Correct.
Correct.
and the savings over 20 years is 40,000 total.
With the 2% projection, yes.
Right. So that's a unique situation that we normally, the way we do it is a little different. We've always structured it a little differently. This structure, because it's such a small array, we structured a way that as the energy prices go up, you realize more savings, and because their estimate is very conservative at 2%, and we believe, everybody knows that the energy goes up higher than 2%, it's almost a certainty that we will gain more dollars had we just gone to a set savings. So the set savings was, I don't, off the top of my head, I want to say it was like 48,000. And so we believe that by doing it in the manner in which we're doing it, we will save far greater than the 48,000. So because it's a small array, we decided that doing it in this manner, we could also see for in the future if that is the better way than the way we've traditionally gone with.
Yeah, it gives us a good test period on such a smaller array in town to test that.
No, I get it, but I have to make a 20-year decision, so that's what comes up. And so I'll ask this, because it came up in discussion recently. So this is on, now I know about the solar bank that we have out there. There's word that, is there plans for a second one?
Yes.
And who's that going through?
Ecology Park, it's actually going through the Green Bank.
I know, but I'm trying to figure out what committee.
Oh.
Because I have never heard of it yet until now tonight. And
No, we
So-
went through RTM.
Through the full RTM?
Well, it's got to go through the full 3 boards.
Right.
This is the first I'm hearing of it, and,
All right, well, we're going to have to track that down.
Sure.
because I'd like
For
to track down
legality.
any presentations you made previously about the schools that they are on,
Sure.
when that was done, and that way I can get some information as to how these things have been presented, and then figure out a little bit of what, the return has been to date on some of those. I mean, bang for the buck at the police department, putting them on top of all those things, it just doesn't make sense to me, cost reward even for you, but I mean, I imagine you make the money back, when you're selling electricity someplace else, but it, like you said, it's such a small array that you're putting out there. For 20 years on top of those carports, it's a little worrisome. I've seen carports, and sometimes they don't last as well. So I just have questions between now and the 20th when we have to vote.
And I would add, and I should have, so Tyler is presently working on a sort of a study, if you will.
A monitoring system.
A monitoring system where we are aware of all of the energy as a town we use through Eversource, and then comparing that to all the energy we produce through solar, and matching that up so we're fully have the answers to how much energy we're using and how much we're producing ourselves, and then we can from there sort of formulate a plan with a second ecology park or future solar arrays and that sort of thing. So we are working on that. It's not as simple as there's a lot of electric bills.
Yeah.
Because when we get asked questions about certain things, and and some of these additional projects that we don't know about, we certainly should know, that's something that'll be important. Hey, here's what's working so far, and this is why we're doing it. It's a much easier
Correct.
sell to explain.
I agree, and that's why we have Tyler doing. But that's going to take him. It's a lot of work. And
I'm close.
He's
but I'm not
close.
fully there yet. And hopefully, once it's finished, we'll be able to. The hope is you could ask me a specific building, and by tomorrow I could give you how much energy it's used in a year or 2 years, whatever.
It's easier to sell something to people when they can see success.
Right.
Right now, a lot of things are theory to them because they don't see it. We often don't go back and say, hey, here's how we're doing, but we keep adding. Well, when you're adding, you should be able to say, this has been successful. And that's what I'm trying to do, because people are asking me, why in a new roof? Well, I'd like to have an answer. Unfortunately, we don't have that yet.
Sure,
And that's
yeah.
important when you're making a 20-year commitment, because when this is over, 20 years, the contract, those solar panels will probably near end of use. What's the,
Yeah, they have a 25-year warranty
25,
on them.
okay.
Expected useful life is typically 30 to 35 years, so it outpaces the warranty period. Still have 10 to 15 years after the contract term.
and that's good to know too, because we own them at that point, right? How's that happen? Good to know.
We have the option to purchase them.
Purchase them.
That's right.
At that 20-year, at the end of the 20 years, we have the option to purchase them, and I think it won't be us, but then that person at that point would look at the cost to electrical savings at that point in life.
Right.
And the price that the Green Bank would then ask for them.
I'm sure the
Yeah.
RTM can ask those questions, so we don't have to.
So you do have the ability to buy it out for fair market value. You can have Green Bank come and remove it on our dime at the end of the term. You can always choose to extend the PPA beyond the 20 years if you want to do so, or you can take it off and renegotiate a new contract at that point if you're interested in it.
Fair enough.
Yes, Mr. Hartwell.
Second question. There seemed to be a large differential in the pricing on the two projects. I think one was 8 cents and the other was somewhere in there, 13 cents. Why is that?
So lots of factors go into the analysis. Size is one of them. Projects have fixed costs that are associated with them, so think permitting, interconnection, structural engineering. If you can spread those fixed costs over a larger system size, you get economies of scale. But the second piece, and perhaps most meaningful, is going to be the revenue contract that we can secure for this site. So the school project specifically is going to participate in a brand new carve-out within the commercial solar incentive program. that is exclusively available for qualified public school sites. So it's enhancing incentives for projects on schools. Municipal projects are just going to participate in the traditional commercial incentive program. Schools get enhanced incentives.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I just want to add one thing to Mr. Dunbar. When we looked at the escalator at 2%, and then we were on that call the other day, and we brought it up to 3%, the revenue we saw over that 20 years jumped into, I think, the 60,000 mark or so.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it is definitely, it depends on inflation, obviously.
You know, I get it. The problem is I have to work with the numbers that we have right now
Sure.
that we're going to use, and I'm sure the RTM and everyone else had to do the same thing. So, I mean, the only last thing, if you can forward to us by email, or at least to me, anything you've done on presentations for the other projects, so I can try to figure out some stuff on that. But besides that, I'll make a motion to table it until our next meeting, and I'll get the rest of the information I need through the RTM and the Board of Finance when they meet there.
I'll second it.
Motion's on the floor to table to our next meeting on the 20th. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I didn't say anything. Motion carries. So we'll table this, we'll revisit after the other two bodies meet. I'll reach out to you, Katie, on some of the questions that were raised today, and we'll talk about it, and that'd be great.
Okay.
All right,
Sounds great.
thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate your time.
Okay, item number 8, reappointments. Reappointment to the Center Revitalization Review Board. We have Phil Carloni, Tricia Rittinger, and Skylar Coulter, terms to expire March 31st, 2029. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Reappointment to the Community Forest Commission. We have Susan Haley and Shirley McCarthy, terms to expire January 30th, 2029. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Reappointments to Daniel Cosgrove Animal Shelter, Marilyn Villette and Gretchen Dale, terms to expire September 30th, 2029. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Reappointment to East Shore Health District, Darlene Zimmerman, term to expire February 28th, 2029.
Motion to approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And finally, reappointment to the Board of Recreation, Jean Crowley, term to expire October 8th, 2029, and Nancy Drevens, term to expire October 14th, 2030.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, appointments. To the Board of Recreation, Robert Ciccolini to fill a vacancy left by Helen Bimmy Hayegret, term to expire October 9th, 2028.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to the Public Building Commission, Steve Margolis to fill a vacancy left by Greg Ames, term to expire January 31st, 2027. You'll notice in your packets there is the resignation of Greg Ames, so he's filling that term. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
To fill the Vincent Chiocchio to fill the vacancy left by Robert Barnett, term to expire January 31st, 2030. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Zoning Board of Appeals, Haley Aronson to fill a vacancy left by Donald Schidler, term to expire October 31st, 2027. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 10, any correspondence? We had none. Item number 11, any new business, any other business to come before this board?
I'll make a motion.
To adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned.
This program was brought to you in part through the support of the Town of Branford. Watch town meetings and other videos on demand at BranfordTV.org.